Weapon mods in Arc Raiders. Do they actually do anything? Or are they just a waste of time, like astrology signs or paying your taxes? Today we're gonna find out, because I spent a lot of time testing every major weapon mod in the game that I could, doing side-by-side, slow motion, John Madden reviews, the whole 9 yards. At the end of the video, I'll let you know what I personally feel are the most worthwhile weapon mods in the entire game and why. We'll break everything down into categories, starting with the one that I think confuses new players the most, and that would be Dispersion. There are several weapon mods in the game that mention Dispersion in one of 4 different ways. Those ways are base dispersion, max shot dispersion, per shot dispersion, and dispersion recovery time. The extremely short version is that dispersion equals bloom. If you're new to shooter games or just never really dug deep into learning the lingo, bloom is essentially how hard your accuracy cone expands when you shoot. Check it. Here I am with a Pharaoh out in the practice range. If I stand still and aim my weapon, you'll see my crosshair get real tight. Basically, when you fire your weapon at any time, your bullet will land somewhere within the crosshair. And because I'm standing still and aiming calmly, it's easy to predict where my bullet is going to go, right in the dead center of our already very tiny crosshair. I fire the gun and bam, bullet lands with pinpoint accuracy right in the center. But now I start jumping up and down like my 3-year-old nephew when somebody mentions cupcakes or Bluey. As I jump up and down, you'll notice that my crosshair is really expanding and widening out. That is a good baseline example of bloom, aka dispersion. And of course, I fire my weapon while the accuracy cone is way bloomed out. The shot can go anywhere within the range of the crosshair randomly. I pull the trigger, and there you go, a not so accurate shot. In short, when you see the word dispersion in Arc Raiders, just think of it being related to your gun's crosshair, aka your accuracy cone. Base dispersion is usually found on shotgun chokes. The translation here is that if your base dispersion is being reduced, you're essentially getting a tighter accuracy cone on your weapon in general. While riding a zipline in the practice range, and don't ask me why, I just wanted to ride the zipline, you can first see the size of my accuracy cone on my Il Toro shotgun with no choke, and by comparison, you can see the size of my accuracy cone after slapping on a Shotgun Choke 3 weapon mod. Here is a side-by-side screenshot comparison. As you can see, the Il Toro with a choke on it really has a noticeably smaller and tighter crosshair, which is damn nice, because the last thing you want to do is miss pellets on somebody trying to kill you. And remember, say it with me, my Destiny 2 people, shotguns are inconsistent, or at least they used to be. Long story. Anyway, here's a clip of me shooting a test dummy from relatively far away with a shotty and only landing 1 goddamn pellet on the dummy, because again, shotguns are inconsistent. So yeah, keep that shotgun accuracy cone a little bit tighter with a Shotgun Choke mod to lower your base dispersion and hopefully land more pellets within your now tighter cone. Max shot dispersion is essentially the maximum amount your accuracy cone can bloom out to if you're shooting your gun a lot. Check it out. Here I am shooting a patina into the air at the practice range, because that's the only thing it's good for. Once with no weapon mod at all, and once with a compensator 2 weapon mod, which reduces max shot dispersion by 20%. If you freeze frame at the exact moment after I fire the final shot in the mag, you get these 2 images. As you can see, the crosshair on the patina with the compensator mod is noticeably tighter than the one with no mod at all. Per shot dispersion is kinda like max dispersion, except instead of the maximum amount total, it's the amount your accuracy cone blooms out on an individual shot basis. Going back to our patina shooting, if you take a look at these 2 images, which were taken on the 7th shot in the mag, I believe, rather than the final shot in the mag, you can still see the difference in how much the cone is blooming out based on if you have a compensator mod on or not. Keep in mind though, this is always going to be more noticeable the more you shoot your gun and the deeper you get into the mag. For example, if you have this shot-by-shot comparison of the patina accuracy cone after the first shot I fire out of the mag, you literally can't even notice any kind of difference at all between the 2 shots. What's that? You say you can see a difference between the 2? Well, I call bullshit, because I actually switched these 2 images just to prove that you couldn't tell. What's that? You said you knew I actually switched the images and you could still tell? Well, I call double bullshit, because the 2 images were actually in the right place the first time. What's that? I should shut the f up and continue with the video? Touche. Dispersion recovery time, which can be found on weapon stock mods, basically means how much it takes for your crosshair to fully reset back to its regular tightness. Here we have me firing my Pharaoh with no weapon mod at all. After the shot, you can see the time it takes for my crosshair to transition from very bloomed out to its regular tightness. Now here's me shooting the Pharaoh with a stable stock 2, which reduces my dispersion recovery time. After the shot, you'll probably notice the crosshair transitioning back to its regular tightness a bit quicker than before. If you slow it down and do a side-by-side comparison, it is definitely way more noticeable. Granted, dispersion recovery wouldn't be as important on a Pharaoh because you can only fire one shot before needing to reload anyway, but this is just to give you an idea of what dispersion recovery means in general. Overall, dispersion mods are important and best used on weapons that have a higher rate of fire, like the Stitcher or the Kettle. They help keep your accuracy cone tight, hopefully land more shots on your target, and they add a little extra length to your barrel. And if you're looking to make your barrel more presentable, well, good news, boys, because today's video is brought to you by Manscaped. Gentlemen, the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is here, and the ticket to a cleaner, better you. The holidays are fast approaching, so look your best. Don't roll into the family gathering with your damn nose and ear hair looking like it could compete with Grandpa's. Let the Weed Whacker 3.0 ear, nose, and eyebrow trimmer help you to look as sharp as ever. And of course, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra groin and body hair trimmer is there too. And even though it helps tidy up a part of your body that you probably don't show off very often, I mean, hey, if someone does end up seeing it, you probably want it to be as presentable and clean as possible, if you know what I'm saying. And of course, no matter where on your body you decide to trim up, Manscaped has you covered with both crop soother and crop preserver products to make cleanup feel both fresh and comfortable. Go into the holiday season as your best fresh self, or get some easy holiday shopping done now for dear old dad and go to manscaped.com/falloutplays to get 15% off at checkout. Again, that is 15% off at checkout with manscaped.com/falloutplays, and thank you again, Manscaped. All right, we back, and why don't we talk about bullet velocity, which you can find on mods like the extended barrel. This is pretty straightforward to explain. When you fire your weapons and arc raiders, the bullets have travel time in reaching their target. Improving your bullet velocity means that the bullet reaches its final destination a little bit faster. Here we have a comparison of me shooting my Pharaoh at a target at the practice range. If we go in very slow motion, we can see that the bullet reaches the target a few frames earlier when the bullet velocity is improved by a weapon mod. Now, while this will also work on other weapons like the Kettle, I feel like bullet velocity weapon mods should really be reserved for long-range weapons like the Pharaoh, the Osprey, or the Renegade. When you're shooting somebody up close, your bullets are already going to hit your target pretty quickly. It's those times when you're shooting people from long range that you really want to make sure the bullet gets there faster, meaning you have to lead your target less from downtown. All right, next category, recoil, which can be found in 3 different variations: horizontal recoil, vertical recoil, and recoil recovery time. As you can probably imagine, recoil is how hard your weapon kicks when you fire it. For horizontal and vertical recovery testing, here is me firing a Stitcher. When I have on an angled grip 3 weapon mod, which cuts down on my horizontal recoil, you'll see in the side-by-side comparison that while my Stitcher does have recoil when shooting, it veers off to the left or the right way less compared to the Stitcher with no mod at all. And same thing when using a grip mod that improves vertical recoil. In this side-by-side, you can see the recoil on the Stitcher with a weapon mod doesn't kick up as much, which is great. Recoil recovery time is the time it takes for your weapon's crosshair to fall back down to where you were originally aiming. Here I shoot my entire mag of a patina, and you can see when I have a weapon mod on that cuts down on recoil recovery time, my crosshair falls back down to our original starting point a bit faster. Recoil weapon mods, in my opinion, are way better on faster firing weapons like the Stitcher or the Kettle. Weapons like the Pharaoh aren't going to benefit as much because you gotta reload in between each shot anyway, so who cares? Next up, equip and unequip time. Certain weapon mods in the game have negative effects on them, and one example is the Stable Stock 3 mod. While it does wonders for your recoil and your dispersion recovery time, it also ups your equip and unequip time. Basically, Embark Studios adding a little bit of drawback to make sure the mod isn't too OP. In our side-by-side comparisons, we can first see how long it takes swapping to a weapon when we have slightly longer equip time, and then we can see how long it takes swapping off a weapon when we have slightly longer unequip time. In both situations, I feel like the equip and unequip time isn't terribly noticeable. It's definitely there, but it's not too bad, and I'd be happy to put this mod on either an auto rifle or an SMG. And on the subject of negative weapon mod effects, we come to durability burn rate, which can be found on things like the Silencer 3 weapon mod. Again, the whole point is that Embark Studios probably doesn't want certain high-level weapon mods to be too good, so some of them get hit with a drawback modifier to make them a little bit more iffy to use. Any weapon using a weapon mod featuring increased durability burn rate just means that the weapon is going to lose its durability a little bit faster. Here I have an Osprey sniper rifle with its current durability factor at at a 56 out of 100. I go into the practice range and fire off 8 shots total, aka a full mag, and now the overall durability of the weapon has gone from 56 to 50. Now we repeat the experiment, starting again with a durability factor of 56, but the Osprey now has a Silencer 3 weapon mod. I fire off 8 shots, and now we can see that the durability has dropped down to 49 out of 56. As you can see, it just means that your weapon is going to lose durability a little bit faster, which I'm fine with, not too bad of a trade-off. And on the subject of weapon noise, we come to reduced noise, aka the positive effect of using a silencer. When using a Pharaoh without a silencer, it does make quite a lot of noise per shot. Listen. Then we add a silencer to the weapon, and now listen. Overall, you're not making your weapons completely dead quiet. You're not going to be out there like John frickin' Wick in the train station, just pew-pewing out completely silent puffs of air with people in the same room as you having no goddamn clue. But that being said, it is a significant reduction in noise, which is nice in a PvP game where you really don't want to be detected by other players. You also have the very rare shotgun silencer. Here's me shooting an Il Toro with no weapon mod at all. And here's me shooting the Toro with a shotgun silencer. Again, not completely quiet, but every little bit does help. Almost at the end, and we have ADS speed. Translation, how fast you aim your weapon. This is another negative weapon effect, and it can be found on things like the Vertical Grip 3. Like the Stable Stock 3 weapon mod we mentioned earlier, the ADS speed modifier here is a drawback to prevent the mod from being too good. As you can see in the side-by-side comparison with the Vertical Grip 3 mod, you zoom in your weapon just a little bit slower than before, not too badly though. And even though the Vertical Grip 3 says it works with the Pharaoh, I'd recommend only using this kind of mod on things like the Tempest, Patina, Rattler, or the Kettle, aka weapons that really benefit from reduced vertical recoil. Again, because the Pharaoh needs to be reloaded after each shot, I really don't give a shit about reducing my recoil at all when using the Pharaoh. Finally, we come to magazine size, aka the ability to have a deeper mag and fire more bullets before needing to reload. I think other weapon mods like the Silencer are way sexier on paper because they make you feel like a spy or something, but you should never sleep on extra magazine size. Certain weapons like the Venator are already plenty lethal on their own, but a deeper mag size means you can potentially mow through more of the enemy team before needing to reload. However, weapons like the Kettle or especially the Stitcher get so much more forgiveness with even a +5 mag size. Here's a perfect example. When using the Stitcher in the practice range, I go to about medium-ish range and start shooting the target with no extra magazine mod. And even though it only takes 17 shots to down a raider and the Stitcher has 20 in the mag, as you can see, the gun has a lot of kick and recoil, and sometimes you might just not land all your shots, as I clearly didn't in this clip, by the way, because the dummy is still up. But now, though, I slap on a magazine mod to give me just 5 more in the mag, and while firing at the exact same range, the dummy now goes down. Basically, unless you have 100% perfect accuracy at all times, having extra rounds in the mag can sometimes mean the difference between you downing the other guy or not before needing to reload. I know there's a few other incredibly unique mods in the game, like the ultra rare Anvil Splitter, but I don't have it. As mentioned earlier, we are just covering the weapon mod effects that you're going to use in-game 99% of the time. And out of everything we've gone over, I got to give my blue ribbon of choice to, drumroll please, Dispersion mods. I freaking hate reticle bloom with a passion across every shooter game that I play, so anything I can get my hands on to reduce that is my best friend, especially because lately I've been a huge fan of the Kettle when I'm using a low-level loadout. Compensator 2 weapon mods are not expensive to craft, and good lord, I love that mod oh so much on my Kettle. It's kind of like adding scallions and a soft-boiled egg to grocery store ramen. Just a minor adjustment that takes something plain as hell and makes it awesome. Let me know what your favorite weapon mods are on stream sometime. As always, I love to argue with strangers. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.